What's the best piece of advice you've ever had?
What's the best piece of advice I ever had?
Yeah.
Be yourself.
I think be yourself. That was something that Chloe said, that basically almost she was told when she was going to set up the business, oh, you have to wear a business suit and you have to dress smart and you have to speak posh and you have to, and she was like, fuck that. And it was the best.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that. That would, go on, sorry.
No, I just think I agree with you that the most important thing is be yourself. But one thing that I will say is that with, when you were saying before about how there's things that you maybe did in the past when you're on drugs or whatever that you kind of regret. Nobody's perfect. That actually it's almost it's accepting that you're human as well, that as long as you didn't do it maliciously on purpose, which some people do, by the way, mistakes and stuff that I've made in the past, that it was naivety. It is what it is, but I didn't do it on purpose. That's how you almost kind of forgive yourself, or at least I try to. But it's I think people often forget that we are human and we all kind of doing our best, and that's kind of
I get that, mate. I think a lot of my mistakes, cheating on certain girls, disgusting, fucking deplorable behaviour, and that wouldn't be drugs, that would be me. I've got to take accountability and responsibility for that. Things that I've done in the past, some drug related, some drink related, some not, mate. I've made some mistakes not related to alcohol and substance abuse, and I've got to take accountability. Back to the advice, I'm trying to rack my brain. Don't take drugs would be the fucking best advice. Be yourself. Richard Coulson, my mentor, says to me a lot, get your tracksuit back on. And what he means is Bobby Robson told him on a flight, and Bobby Robson was his hero. And he says to me, like, get your tracksuit back on. And over the past year, we've been focused on different projects with business, myself, Nate, Daz, and Michelle have been out of the business a little bit. And now I've got my tracksuit back on the training ground in here. This is what I love to do. So get your tracksuit on and do what you love.
So what do you mean by the tracksuit? Is in just like get on, graft on what you want to do?
Sometimes when you're running a business, right, you'll focus on things that are not actually productive and not that important. I'm going to have a meeting with this guy. Who is he? He does algorithms online. I'm going to see him next. What does he do? He does branding and design work. Right, okay. Who's his next guy? HR. Are you going to speak to the team? Are you going to do the training? The thing that got you there in the first place. Focus on that. So have your tracksuit on. Spend time on the training ground with the guys. Otherwise, you end up doing meeting after meeting after meeting, and you forget to feed will feed you.
Respect. I get that. Last question. If you were to give advice to your younger self, and you can pick you at 13, 14, bedwetting, 16, whatever age you want, if you were to give advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Don't take drugs and work harder.
Okay.
I work harder. I was playing football at that time. Now, I never made it football because the lads were better than me. I really believe in the value of hard work. If I'd have worked as hard as football, what I do at this job, would I have went a bit further? More than likely. I'm not saying I would be Ronaldo and Messi, because there's a lot of football is based on your physical attributes and talent. But work hard. I didn't really know what working hard was until I started this job. And working hard just separates you from the rest of the pack. It just does. Yeah. It does.
What do you think the younger you that had 20 quid in the pocket when he was going down, spent it on booze, what would he think if he knew that he would turn into you 13 years later?
Well, you know what? I've always been a dreamer, so I probably thought, that's right there. I would have thought that, because I'm kicking the ball against my mum's wall in Winniebanks, scoring off, I think I was Benny Slave, and I always visualise greatness. I always get out of the bath, I have the towel above my head, imagine it's a borough flag and I'm winning the award for bespoke. I believe in visualization, and I've always dreamed of bigger things and better things. So I would have thought, is that all we've done? I thought we've done a bit more than that. That's what I would have, without being arrogant. It's important. I'm honest. I would have thought, we will do that.
I respect that. Is there anything you would like to talk about and plug before we go?
No plugs at all. I'm very grateful for you jumping on. Asking me to jump on. You're a good guy. I've got a lot of respect for you, and well done. I hope your uncle gets better, mate.
I must do. It was just when you get the phone call from your mum and she's not happy, she's a bit upset and whatever. But it just kind of brings it home that we all do our best and we all do our work stuff and we focus on bits and bobs. But I really, kind of, what's funny, I track your stuff and, but when you're busy, like I don't get to like all of your stuff, but I still see it. And it was interesting yesterday when my wife said, that Lee guy, I've seen some of his stuff, it's really good. And just people that are brave enough to kind of put stuff out into the world, it is noticed. People do notice, and I think it's important. And it's almost because often people don't pat you on the back. You have to just keep going. And often when people don't reply, it's hard. But I respect what you're doing. I respect what you're doing in the business. But almost the way that you celebrate the team and the fact that you spent 5 minutes before just shouting out team members. Nobody's done that in 100 episodes. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it just shows how much and why it's important to you, which I think is really awesome.
Thanks,
well,
Matt.
I know you've probably got kids to go and pick up or something to go and do, so I respect your time. Have a great rest of your week. Stay in touch, and if you ever need anything, just shout.
Likewise, man. Thank you so much. Best wishes. Take care. Say bye.